Hey, what's up, Cancers? Welcome back to another timeless general tarot reading. Sorry that your zodiac sign's name is Cancer. That is a little disappointing, but there's a lot of power in your sign. So, I like to overlook the fact of the nomenclature for your name. The Lovers. A good sign of basically physical relationship, a relationship of love. That's a very straightforward way to read it. Also a good sign that you are managing to properly balance your spiritual heart and your mentalism. And that's very important for embracing life to its fullest. So very good start to this reading. Let's see what else we can get here for you, though. Tower. Some kind of complacency in your love, even if it feels good. Perhaps some kind of it's very strange. The love serving you, but then you having to go through a tower. Very bizarre, very bizarre. Judgment in reverse. This is striking as some kind of loving relationship that feels good and is working. But it's got you in complacency. And you're failing to see that complacency. So that's disappointing, because maybe you're in a relationship where the both of you have stagnated yourself in Spirit's eye. And Spirit's only real demand of you in life is that you grow. So if you both have gotten yourself into a position of comfort where you can no longer grow, Spirit has a knack of separating you for that, because you have a greater purpose to embolden yourself with. So, a little bit tough, a little bit tough. You don't want to hear that your love's gonna go. Page of Wands reversed. Not a good sign that you will express this well when it happens. Not a good sign that you will express your emotions constructively. Definitely a sign of expressing them toxically. Being very disingenuous to others. And very disappointing. As a water sign, though, you're going to express how you feel. You're not going to lie about how you feel. It's disappointing, though, that it's in this toxicity. King of Wands. Six of Swords, Three of Swords reversed. Definitely do not dally on taking the action necessary to move on from this heart pain. You want to embrace what the Tower is trying to provide for you. And the way you do that is you have to, unfortunately, and it's kind of the hardest for water signs to hear because they lead with their emotions naturally. They're the only signs that really get that privilege. There's a lot of energy here of moving on, taking the action necessary to move on. And more specifically, taking the action necessary to stabilize your emotions a little bit. You don't want to get stuck in the heartache here. If you're stuck in the heartache here, you will just get it's not as productive. It's not why the universe is putting you into this tower situation. This tower is for you to grow beyond where you were before, in a way that the universe couldn't get through to you in any other way. And I want to get something clearer than that. So definitely a healing reading. A tough reading, honestly. If you're actually sticking through this, it's like, it's not all sunshine and rainbows. It's more of just a matter-of-fact thing here. So I'm going to keep trying to clarify the Judgment card in reverse for you. King of Cups even, huh? You're being asked to embrace... Oh, that's actually your energy also. Water sign. It's like the epitome of expressing your water energy to its fullest. It's the greatest exemplar of what your abundant emotional capacity can do if wielded with good intentions, with optimism and positive emotionality. And it's who you want to be, and it's who you're going to be if you can move forward with making sure that you do not fall into purely toxic emotions about this. And though there's warnings here that you could, but you're being called here to be extremely masculine, but not just masculine, but blended in terms of masculine and feminine quality. So even though there's embodiments of the masculine, King of Wands action tied in with King of Cups emotional resonance, those don't always work together well because it's water and fire. But in this instance, there's great potential here for you to embrace the strengths of both of those to quite a degree here. But it's going to require you, it's going to require a lot of diligence to make sure that you turn to the light, so to speak, within your heart when this tribulation strikes. But huge power, huge potential of power if you can embody King of Cups and King of Wands in the upright. Those are extremely diligent energies. And they can be extremely loving energies if they're channeled properly. Okay, so you even have Strength card following that, but then you have King of Swords on the edge here. So kind of interesting. The third row is shaping up a little differently for you compared to the other rows. So I'm seeing that as warnings in this particular reading. But you have King of Wands, King of Cups, and King of Swords. That's very strong. Very strong, actionable energy. King of Swords in reverse, though, that's somebody who can be a little conniving. Somebody whose judgment is off point. So very bizarre here. Very interesting, actually. Very cool. What's kind of coming out here is like, I've been saying it for the Geminis, and I've been saying it for the other air signs, that there's a lot of like using their mentalism and their wind energy as wind signs to stabilize how they feel. I'm actually kind of seeing the opposite thing here. Because you're a water sign, you're not going to be as served by trying to stabilize how you feel. You're not going to be served as well by trying to corral your feelings with your mentalism. You've got to pull forth the brighter emotions, and you've got to lead with those emotions. And part of how you do that is by embracing your own inner strength and your own inner fortitude. If you don't do that correctly, if you try to use your mentalism to control this, the sign here is it's not a good sign. The rectification here comes from, and I'm not exactly sure how to do this. I'm an earth sign. I'm not a water sign myself. So it's not as natural to me as it is to you, but the archetype here is that the emotions that lead you, you've got to make sure that they're of justice. and that they're of love and vibrance, exuberance, optimism, positivity. You've got to pull those better emotions out of here. Even though this lover's situation has a tendency here to be coming down on you by the universe's design somehow, some way, the bottom line here is you're being called to embrace a stronger emotionality due to it. And the more you get lost in your head, the more you're going to get stuck, unable to tame your heart space right in the present moment. And the more your emotions are going to be misled, and you're going to be misled by your emotions. So, quite a vast potential here. Knight of Pentacles, Six of Wands. And let me see if I can just get the final clarifier here. This has actually been pretty quick reading. We're at 11 minutes. It's 2 cards. Let's get 1 card. It's 2 cards again. Let's get 1. Oh, 7 of Pentacles trying to peek out. Alright, 9 of Swords. A little bit of a mixed energy here. You finally got an Earth sign in your suit card, so you have all 4 elements in your suits. 3 of the Kings. Very powerful. 2 of the Kings are energy-based. Primal energy and emotional energy serving you. So very energy-based. The solutions here for you are very based in energy. They're not really based in mentalism or material. You're not being called to lead with the mentalism here. All of the mentalism cards are not in a good sign here. 3 of Swords in the reverse, failing to utilize your mentalism to stabilize your heart space. It's more natural for wind signs to do that. It's not going to, I don't think it's as natural for you as a water sign. You lead with your emotions, so you can sort of adjust your own emotions without your mentalism. That's what you're being called to do here. If you try to overcompensate with your mind and you try to overcompensate with your mentalism, it's not going to serve you as well. And the King of Swords reverse suggests the same thing, that it's not going to be good judgment for you to necessarily even rely on your judgment. You're being called here definitely to a depth of your heart, to a depth of your emotions, and that's actually pretty natural for you as a water sign. And I can't remember with Cancer is which element, which degree Cancer is of the water signs, but there's a good shot that Cancer has the most depth in that capacity. Either you or Pisces. I have something I need to double check, but one of you has the most depth in that regard. And to the same degree here at the end, we've got the 9 of Swords, which is another sign that those trying to go down those mentalist routes aren't what's going to serve you. It's going to keep you trapped in not bringing forth the greatest emotionality and the greatest energy that you can muster. So we're seeing 686, not quite 666, but close. 6 of Swords, 6 of Wands, moving on to victory. And the victory is surrounded by your internal strength. And by your internal strength in this instance, that does mean actually literally kind of using your depth of emotionality as a battery, which is something that's very natural, once again, to water signs. It's natural for them to emerge primal energy as emotions. It's not something they need to be ashamed of. It's something that is natural to their signs and something that they need to be embraced, or something that they need to be embraced for. If you can pull this off, there's a lot of potential here. It's very disappointing that it's coming on the back of this Lover's card, because this could be a relationship coming to an end to force you to grow in these capacities. And sometimes the universe does that to turn us into an even better person than we were before. And it can suck while we're going through it, but you're being called here to Shed trying to control it mentally, and instead turn towards your brightest emotionality. Be careful trying to express yourself however you feel like, because sometimes that's very endearing, but if you've kind of become toxified to enough of an extent, it can really overflow into others in a negative effect. And that's not what you see from King of Cups and King of Wands. King of Wands keep in mind their subjects and whom they overflow their energy upon, and they understand the quality of the energy that they are overflowing onto others. Whereas the Page of Wands is not being wary of that. And then also, as a warning sign next to that, is the Knight of Pentacles in reverse. So that means I'm seeing some stagnance if you don't listen to that. So as long as you aren't embracing those emotions properly, as long as you're stuck over here in these mental spaces that aren't going to serve your water energy as naturally, as long as you aren't embracing your own internal strength properly, you're going to be stagnant in this toxified emotionality and expressing that. And that is not where you want to be. If you actually want to achieve victory, and you actually want to move on to better feelings, it's all going to come down to you pulling forth your brightest energy, pouring out your brightest energy unto others, not your toxification. And if you can do that, you have quite a potential here to embrace some vast depths of energy, of masculine energy. It's on your horizon. So that's really awesome to see. I hope that you can integrate what I've said here to actually achieve that. It doesn't look like it's going to just be a downhill battle the whole time. It looks like there's a lot of potentials for pitfall here. But if you can actually listen to what I'm talking about, you can embrace this situation from the universe to its fullest, to become a greater person than you have possibly ever imagined up to this point. So I really appreciate that you were here. If you liked this video, make sure to leave a like. If you enjoyed the content, make sure to subscribe to the channel. If you have any advice or comments, make sure to leave them down below. Check the description box to figure out ways you can support me on other social medias. And if you're really inclined, leave me a few bucks on PayPal. I would really appreciate it. So, thank you very much, Cancer. Take care and good luck.